land of historic castles and Bronze Age settlements. Land of ancient monastic sites and modern Christian education. MacDermott Country, Kings of Moylurg and Princes of Coolavin.
This is the story of the MacDermott family of Coolavin, County Sligo. Felicity MacDermott, formerly Madam MacDermott, has lived in Coolavin since the early 1950s. Her late husband, Charles Bay the MacDermott, returned to Coolavin in 1954 and engaged in farming until his death in 1979.
He was a rubber planter in Malaya for 25 years, and he was a prisoner of the Japanese for 3.5 years. And he just weighed 6 stone when he came back, and he was a fairly big man. But there was always a connection between the MacDermotts and the people of Coolavin.
The present the MacDermott is Rory MacDermott, who lives in County Wexford. We talked to him recently near Coolavin House.
Hello children, children of the 6th class of Scoil Dawn in Monaster Aiden, County Sligo, and welcome to Coolavin, the ancestral home of the MacDermott family. My name's Rory MacDermott, and I am the chief of the name, the MacDermott. You're standing in front of Coolavin House, which was built in 1896 by my great-great-grandfather, Hugh Hyacinth MacDermott. And there have been MacDermotts living here ever since then. Home.
The MacDermotts of Shroof and Coolavin gave work to the youth of the area. Jimmy Flannery of Lower Clogher was one of the last persons to work on the MacDermott estate, and it was there he made a decision that influenced his working life.
When I left school, I went working to the MacDermotts. But what started that off was Johnny Hannon and the late Michael Hannon had a tractor. And I used to be driving the tractor in the fields. So I was mad for driving tractors. So I worked with Dennis Lee up on the float bog, foot and turf, and doing what I'm doing now, you know, and getting an odd spin on the tractor. Then I worked with Sean Golden and Dermot at the buildings, and I wasn't that fond of the buildings. Tractors I wanted. So a job came in the MacDermotts. They were looking for someone on the land. The fellow before me had left. So I went solely to drive the tractor. That's why I went. I wasn't fond of farming or cattle or nothing, just the tractor. So we worked milking cows in the morning, and sows, there was pigs there, and general farm work. And when I'd have that done in the morning, after the 10 o'clock tea, loved to get away with the tractor. Fencing, the further away down the land, the better, to be driving the tractor. So then they got the late Matty Grady in for a couple of days' work with a digger. And, of course, I spent all the time up with him, looking at him with the digger. And he got me to drive it a small bit from one field to the other, you know. The diggers them times were smaller. They were like a digger on the back of a tractor. They weren't as big as these yokes here now, you know, or on tracks. So he was 2 or 3 days there, and I never stopped looking at the digger. And at dinner time, I was only 5 minutes eating the dinner, and I was below sitting in the digger when Matty came back after having his dinner. So the evening he finished, he asked me to drive the digger up to French Park. It was only like driving a big tractor then, you know. Oh well, I took on the job and I hit off up across the float, and I thought I was driving an airplane, you know, because that's over 40 years ago now. They were very good to work for. All the locals round Clogher and Ballinahone and across there down the years. Very good to work for. I was only young then, I suppose 16 and a half when I went down there, and they paid the agricultural rate, which was £7 10 shillings for 6 days, and 15 shillings then for Sunday. You had to go in every second Sunday to milk the cows and feed the pigs and do the few jobs like that. And every Saturday night you had your money home with you, you know. So it was lovely. They were good to work for. I never heard nobody saying anything against them for working, you know.
Prayers were said at St. Tracta's Holy Well on the 11th of August every year. And then everybody enjoyed the sports. It was held in the barrack field behind Clogher Hall. When Charles Bay returned to Coolevin in 1954, he revived it, and it was held in front of the house until the last sports was held in 2003. For over 100 years, the children of Monastraden have taken part in the sports, here in the McDermott Estate in Coolevin.
Hugh Morris wrote this letter to his brother, Charles Bay McDermott, days before he set sail for the Dardanelles. It was his last letter. 6th Royal Irish Fusiliers, 31st Infantry Brigade Camp, Basingstoke, 7th of July 1915. My dear Bay, just a line to say goodbye. We sail on Friday for the Dardanelles. I'm awfully lucky at going, and very busy checking clothes, etc. So scarcely have a moment to write. I hope you will have a good summer at Coolavin. Keep poor mother cheered up, that is the chief thing, and get well practiced in shooting. I will be shooting better things than grouse on August 12th, but will miss the grouse very much. Unless I am hit, I don't suppose I will be back in England until the war is over. Egypt is the only place of rest we get to. However, it will be great fun. Must rush off now. Goodbye and good luck. Ever your affectionate brother, Boy.
The landings at Gallipoli in 1915 were part of the Allied plan to take control of the Turkish Straits, known as the Dardanelles. The objective was to take the Channel and then the city of Constantinople and cut off Turkey from the rest of the Central Powers. The Russians had appealed for this attack. Winston Churchill saw this as a way of shortening the war. It was a bold, brave attempt to use sea power and assault forces to change the course of history, but it was a total failure and a disaster for all concerned. The landings at Suvla Bay on 6th of August 1915 were a success. The Turks had been taken by surprise and there was little resistance compared to Cape Helles to the south. But the Allies failed to push forward and take their objectives. Instead, they waited on the beaches for equipment and to reorganise, and lost their chance to make gains. Hugh Morris McDermott was shot on the 9th of August 1915 when he was leading his platoon on an attack on Chocolate Hill. His body was never recovered. He is remembered on the Helles Memorial and in St Aidan's Church in Monastraden, County Sligo.
Today is St Patrick's Day and all the parish are celebrating and remembering our national hero. But do we remember all our heroes?
No, we do not remember all of our heroes. The only one, in fact, in this parish who is remembered from World War I is 2nd Lieutenant Hugh McDermott, or Hugh Morris McDermott, to give him his full name, who died at the age of 18 at Gallipoli in August of 1915. But he was one of 39 young men from this parish who died in World War I.